Spider-Man.
So I've officially watched episodes 1 and 2 of Agatha all along, and I've got to say, I absolutely loved it. Look, we're going to get into the show as much as possible, but there is 100% going to be things that I don't talk about or things that I miss in regards to this show with these first 2 episodes. So as we start this video, go ahead and leave your comments down below. I read every single one. I most likely will respond. Please let me know all of the secrets, all of the Easter eggs, everything that you caught in these first 2 episodes, because I feel like we're back to the era of WandaVision. In the sense that there is so much mystery and intrigue in this show already with these first 2 episodes that kind of bring back that whole feeling of theorizing on who these characters are, what are the Easter eggs that we need to really pay attention to, where can this story possibly go. It's wild, it's fun, it's terrifying at times. I'm gonna go into depth on the characters that we've been introduced to so far. Again, leave your comments about all of the things that you noticed in this show. I'm sure I'm going to miss tons of things. Before we get started, we are on the road to 2,000 subs, so if you guys are new to this channel and love to talk about Marvel, Star Wars, anything pop culture, please consider hitting that button. It would mean the world to me. Now let's go ahead and recap episode 1. This actually starts off similar to WandaVision in the sense that it's kind of going off of a TV show. Agatha is still under the hex that Wanda placed on her at the end of WandaVision, and now Agatha is kind of living in this true crime scenario. The first half of this first episode really pays homage to Mare of Easttown, a show that is about a detective and a serial killer. I love how they're kind of picking up the thematic elements of WandaVision and using it here to tell more creative stories. I just felt like I was pulled right back into that world, and I was so excited. But as this first episode goes along, Agatha kind of gets pulled out of this hex by this character named Rio. This is Aubrey Plaza's character, and she seemed extremely menacing, and there's clearly a history going on between these two. I'm not sure if it was romantic. We're not really sure what is going on with these two in their past, but I know we're going to find out. She essentially pulls Agatha out of this hex in order to kill her, but at the same time, she can't kill her because Agatha is powerless, and there seems to be some sort of bond between them. Agatha's goal is really set out in these first 2 episodes. She wants to walk the witch's road to get her powers back. However, she can't do this alone. One night, this teenager breaks into her house looking through her records, and this is actually Joe Locke's character, who we assume is Billy Maximoff, but we don't really know. I really do enjoy the chemistry between Agatha and this teen character. I think it's really fun, and they kind of have this yin and yang thing going on. We have this experienced witch who has now lost all of her powers and wants to get it back, and we have this newcomer who wants to learn how to be a magic wielder. I also forgot to mention that one of the biggest parts of this episode is the dead body that Agatha sees at the beginning. This is supposedly the corpse of Wanda Maximoff. Now, I don't think Wanda's actually fully dead. Of course, I think we're going to see Wanda again in the future. I don't know how soon, and I don't know if it's going to be in this show, but they really tease Wanda a lot. As we know, Wanda supposedly met her end at the end of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and they let us know that by saying the cause of death was blunt force trauma and she was crushed. Her toe tag does say Wanda Maximoff, and we also learn that because of the events of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, Wanda has gotten rid of all of the Darkholds throughout the entire multiverse. So Agatha doesn't have access to the Darkhold, and the Darkhold was really important to her, and it actually may be even more important than we ever theorized. It was also amazing seeing all of the people back from Westview, from WandaVision, all of these characters back playing in Agatha's hex, as well as just being their normal characters outside of the manipulation of magic. Now, episode 2 is really where the story starts. This is all about recruiting these witches in order to walk the witch's road. As the legend goes, you have to have a coven of witches to walk the witch's road. That way they can get their powers back. They recruit a bunch of witches, and I'm actually a big fan of all of these characters. The way that Agatha and this teen character manipulate them to join their coven is really fun, and it really builds the character development between Teen and Agatha. Now, in this second episode, the teen character tries to tell Agatha what his name is, but it's kind of blurred out. I made a video about this because it did appear in the trailer, and I wasn't sure if it was going to appear in the show, but it did. As he tries to say his name, a cursive letter M covers his mouth. Now, many people are theorizing, okay, is this Mephisto? Is this Maximoff? Is this something else completely? And I think one of these answers has to be correct. There's so many theories about who this character is. Obviously, all of us are assuming this is Billy Maximoff grown up, but at the same time, there's some amazing theories out there suggesting that this is possibly the reborn son of Agatha Harkness. This would also make sense because Nicholas Scratch, the bunny rabbit from WandaVision, is now appearing so much during these first 2 episodes that people are convinced that there's a huge backstory with Agatha that we have not yet been privy to. One of the witches they recruit for the coven even suggests that Agatha maybe had sacrificed a child before. So So did Agatha possibly sacrifice her only child to get the Darkhold? Maybe, we don't know. I just feel like it's been so long since we've had a show where we can theorize all of these crazy things and even over theorize to the point where we know we're not going to be right, but it's just tons of fun. And this show is also taking itself seriously with the very mature things that happen in this show, but also is just a good time. It's wacky, and again, it's terrifying. Agatha has to go on the witch's road because the Salem 7, the original witches, are out to hunt her. And Aubrey Plaza's character, Rio, is actually kind of serving as a herald for these witches. I feel like there's a ton more about her character, and we're going to make a whole separate video about her and what she could possibly be or who she possibly is in another video. I'm thinking she's either Mephisto, Blackheart, even maybe Cynthia Von Doom. I've seen so many fantastic theories on the internet regarding her character, and I'm just so ready to dive into it. Agatha and Teen recruit all of these witches, including one of the characters from WandaVision, Mrs. Hart. She's not a witch at all, but I think it adds another comedic tone to this whole thing that's just hilarious. This is an unlikely group of witches coming together to regain their power, and who knows how many of them, if any of them, are gonna make it out. As I've stated before, I know somebody who has worked on this show, and they said it gets even crazier from here, and it is all gas, no breaks. And if these first 2 episodes are an indicator, then oh my gosh, this show is going to be incredible, and I'm glad it's getting a lot of great reviews. Marvel seems to be on a complete tear right now, and I hope they keep it up with this show. I also have to completely applaud Kathryn Hahn's acting in this show so far. Going from the cheesy detective character in the first episode to her more traditional Agatha character in the second episode was so fascinating to watch, and she's really able to dive into this character more, and man, she does a fantastic job. At the end of this episode, they're trying to open the door to the Witch's Road when the Salem 7 arrive and try to attack. These things were terrifying. They were so creepy. I'm loving the horror elements, and I hope they keep it up. They arrive on the Witch's Road, and they take all their shoes off, and they start walking down the road, and this really feels like the Wizard of Oz. At the same time, Alice in Wonderland, we're going down the rabbit hole here. We don't know what to expect. We know these characters are an unlikely group of friends that are coming together for a common goal for each one of themselves, and I'm so excited to see where it goes. There are so many references to the comic books, so many characters that we're being introduced to here. And of course, we have the theories of Mephisto coming up again. I am seriously so relieved, and my expectations were so exceeded with these first 2 episodes that I'm just really happy. Guys, please let me know what you thought about these first 2 down below in the comments. Again, I read every single one. I most likely will respond. Subscribe to the channel because we're going to be posting so much, not only about Agatha all along, but also there's some crazy news about Spider-Man, Sony, and Marvel, and a bunch of other Marvel news coming out. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all very, very soon.